Hello, how are you? I hope everyone is okay. Today we are going to continue analyzing Macbeth. Before doing that, um, I want to show you some information in case some of you are a little bit lost in the analysis of the play. I have given you an introduction, but I want to show you some things so that you pay attention to them um, before coming to class so that the analysis is you are better able to understand the analysis of the play. So in the introduction to Macbeth, I showed you a PowerPoint presentation, yes, that I have uploaded in the class that I delivered on that day. And this is the PowerPoint presentation. It's called Introduction to Macbeth, and towards the middle of it, you have a whole introduction that we saw together, but you also have this summary of how the characters are connected with each other, and then you have a summary of the play on the following slide. And I will ask you, if you are watching this, stop the video for a few minutes and sit down and read the summary of the story, because this will help you understand better what is more or less happening. You also have a list of the characters, their names, their roles, yes? So this may help you a lot if you know all of these details before analyzing the play. That's why I presented this to you in the introduction to Macbeth, yes, in that class that we had. So this is in that PowerPoint presentation that it's uploaded in the platform. Also, let me share something else with you. I shared with you a book that I usually don't do this, but only because we are going through this situation in which I know that not everyone is able to buy the book. But if you can buy it, please do so. I gave you this edition, that this is the one that I suggested at the beginning of the year, because it has the line numbers that are very important for us to guide the analysis. And you know that we have line numbers so that we know when we are analyzing one sentence and I say, okay, let us go to line 23, then we can all go to that line. Yes, and in some editions, the line numbers are different. Yes, it's important that you have an edition with line numbers. But aside from that, this edition is very complete because it has an introduction, it has a summary of the context of production at the end of the book. Aside from that, well, now I will show you what it has, but I would like you to explore this book. Yes, now that you know, you have read the summary, I would also like to explore the first pages of this book. Yes, look at, well, it has images of, or sorry, of different performances, but aside from that, it has very useful information. See, here you have the introduction, the photo gallery that maybe is not so important, but it has details that can help you understand better the story. The list of characters, yes. Then you have the play itself, and if you go to the end, you see all the information that it has, perspectives and themes, the context of Macbeth, characters, the language, yes. So all of this is very helpful. So don't feel frustrated if you didn't understand a lot last class, but yes, you have to do something about it. Yes, it's important that you sit down and read the material that you are provided. Yes, because it's not easy to read Shakespeare for the first time, and that's why I have tried to give you all the materials that are necessary for you to do so. But this is a process. Yes, it will get easier, but you will make it easier, even easier, if you read. Yes, if you get yourself involved with the story and you start trying to understand what is happening. Yes, especially in connection with who are the characters, what's the story about. Yes, here, for example, well, this is the photo gallery of different productions of Macbeth. You have the list of characters in a different arrangement than in the one that I uploaded in the PowerPoint presentation. So here you can also use this list of characters so that you more or less know who are they. Yes, because you may be confused, for example, because there are several. We have Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, then we have Macduff, Lady Macduff. So sometimes you can get confused, and that's why it's important that you go over this, okay? Another reason why I share with you this edition is because next to each page, next to each theme, you have a page on the left side of the book which provides here above a summary of what is happening in this page. So it's perfect, because if you don't understand or you missed a class, you can go there and see what is the overall action that was taking place in that moment in the play. It's the overall action, it's not the detail analysis. And here, this column here, you have a glossary of the words that might be harder to understand. Yes, and also here you have sometimes activities, sometimes comments on the things that are happening in the story. So I wanted to say this to clarify this. I thought that everyone had seen this book. Most probably some of you have, but sometimes we skip the first pages. I also do that sometimes. But in this case, if you are struggling to understand Shakespeare, I would recommend you to go over the introduction to Macbeth, read the summary that I told you to read a few minutes ago, read the list of characters, read the few, I think there are 10 pages before and 15 pages at the back of the play, and you can read them, and it will help you understand a lot of things. Yes, but you need to dedicate some time, because reading Shakespeare takes time. Yes, so I advise you to know as much as possible before coming to class. Yes. So I wanted to show you this because, of course, I hope you can use it for your own benefit. Okay, now we are going to analyze. Last class, we analyzed Lady Macbeth's soliloquy, the three counts, remember? Today, we are going to analyze what comes after that, okay? So we are going to listen to it. As I said in last class, we first listen to it, and you have to follow the lines. This is Act 1, Scene 5, and this is right after that soliloquy of the three counts. Yes, so approximately line 53, okay? Line 53. After the soliloquy by Lady Macbeth, that's where we left last class. So I'm going to share only the audio of my computer with you. We listen to it, and then I'm going to analyze it. Wait a second. Here we go.
Great Glamis! Worthy Cawdor! Greater than both by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see.
Okay, up to there, because this is a very important line. Yes, of course, remember Lady Macbeth was delivering this important soliloquy, and when she finishes, Macbeth enters. They greet each other, they hug each other in the play. Yes, and notice the greeting that Lady Macbeth gives Macbeth. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all hail hereafter. So great Glamis, remember that Macbeth was the Thane of Glamis, worthy Cawdor, because she already knows, because of the letter that she received, that he is now the Thane of Cawdor, just as the prophecy of the witches predicted. Greater than both. So now you will receive a title that is greater than the Thane of Glamis and the Thane of Cawdor, because you will become the king. This is what she's saying. And that's bigger than being a Thane, okay? Remember that a Thane was a noble rank at that time, yes? It was like a landlord, someone that owned a specific plot of lands, yes, and they ruled over those, over that area. Thy letters, so your letter, what you wrote, have transported me beyond this ignorant present. So through your letter, I was transported to the future. What is the future? That he will become the king. Transported me beyond the ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant. Beautiful wording, yes, beautiful way of saying that she already feels that he is the king, even though he is not yet the king, yes? And Macbeth says, my dearest love, this is a greeting, Duncan comes here tonight. This is what we know, that King Duncan is coming to their castle, yes, to Lady Macbeth's castle tonight. And when goes hence? When is he leaving? This is what Lady Macbeth is asking. When is he leaving? And Macbeth answers tomorrow, as he proposes. So he's going to leave tomorrow. And notice the answer that Lady Macbeth gives. Oh, never. Meaning that he will die and he will never leave their castle. Yes, terrible. And we see that she is resolute. And here there is in the performance that we watch, and now I will show you how Macbeth reacts. Yes, never shall sun that morrow see. Let us continue listening to it a little bit more so that we can continue analyzing it. Okay, wait a second.
Your face, my Thane, is as a book, where men may read strange matters, to beguile the time. Look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for. And you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To all to favour ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
Okay, up to here. So, or never shall sun that morrow see, or she or he shall never see the sun again. Yes, again, this reference that he's going to die there, and that's the reason why he will never leave their castle. Your face, my Thane, is a book where men may read strange matters. What does notice the imagery that Shakespeare is using to refer to the facial expression that Macbeth has, but as if his face would be a book. Yes, your face, my Thane, is as a book. Yes, this is a simile. Remember that a simile is an explicit comparison. Yes, that is usually shown by the use of as or like. So your face is like a book where men can read strange matters. Why does she say this? Because his face, of course, is maybe he's showing an expression of fear and confusion, because of course he hasn't admitted out loud that he wants to kill the king. And this is what she's saying, She is the first one. Lady Macbeth is the first one in stating that, in suggesting that they should kill the king. And this is very important as regards character development in the story. Why? Because at the very beginning of the play, right now, we see a Lady Macbeth who is very resolute. She's decided to do whatever she has to do so that he can become the king. But Macbeth is not that resolute. Yes, he's more hesitant. Then he says, this is line 61 that we are analyzing towards the middle, line 61. To beguile the time, look like the time. They are welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. This idea is better explained in the following phrase. Look what it says. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. This is a very important expression that, and a very important quote in all of Macbeth, yes, and it is said by Lady Macbeth. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. So what she's saying is, you have to hide your feelings. You have to look innocent. You have to pretend that everything is okay. Yes, you have to pretend to be innocent, to be naive, to be not to raise any kind of suspicions. Yes, so look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. And this is also connected with a very important theme in the story, which is that of appearance versus reality. Appearance versus reality. Yes, not everything is what appears to be in this story. The witch's prophecy is not what it appears to be for Macbeth, and we will discover why at the end of the play. Lady Macbeth and Macbeth are hosting King Duncan. They are pretending to be really nice people, but we know that they are the serpents. They are not the innocent flower. Yes, so this expression is very important because it portrays, it shows this important theme of appearance versus reality. Yes, he that's coming must be provided for. He that is coming, who is he? The king. Yes, so notice how they are already speaking, like using codes, because of course they will never say out loud, let's go kill Duncan, because no one would ever admit out loud that they want to kill the king. Yes, not even between each other. So he that's coming must be provided for, meaning he must be killed. But notice that she hasn't said killed so far. Yes. And you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch. Yes, meaning, and you should let me handle this situation. And this is a disruption of order, because we are seeing that in a way, Lady Macbeth is the head of this family. She is the king of this monarchy, but she's a woman. Yes, so this is a disruption of order, and this is going to bring consequences for her and her family. Yes. Well, later on, they say goodbye to each other. Yes. This is line 70, no, sorry, 68. We will speak further. We will discuss this later. Only look up clear. And again, Lady Macbeth warns him and says, you just look clear, meaning you only have to appear innocent. Yes, pretend, be like the innocent flower. This is what she is asking him to do. To alter favor ever is to fear, leave all the rest to me. Yes, again, leave all the rest to me. So you only have to pretend that everything is okay, and I will take care of everything. Yes, I will be in charge of this. Yes, biggest disruption of order so far. Yes. The next scene is Act 1, Scene 6. We are not going to analyze it completely. I want to show you, before we go to that, I want to show you briefly the reaction that Macbeth has, this brief conversation that we have analyzed so that we watch it and you have an overall analysis of what happens in the story. Wait a second. Here we go. So we are going to analyze what the lines that we have analyzed so far.
Great Glamis! Worthy Cawdor! Greater than both by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book, where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for. And you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear, to all to favour ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
Okay. Don't stop sharing the screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I hope you have liked the and that now you understand what was happening on stage. I only want to point out in Act 1, Scene 6, in this scene, King Duncan arrives at Macbeth's castle, yes, and Lady Macbeth greets him. And there is a line, this is line 27. Your servants ever begin. It's Lady Macbeth speaking. It says, your servants ever have theirs themselves, and what is theirs is in count, to make their audit at your highness' pleasure, still to return your own. Yes, so we are your royal servants, and everything that we own is yours. This is what she is saying. But there is a very interesting detail. Look at Duncan's reply. Give me your hand. Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly and shall continue our graces towards him by your leave, hostess. So here the tiny but relevant detail is that King Duncan, the most important person on earth at this moment, yes, he grabs Lady Macbeth's hand and he says, conduct me, yes, and this is connected with an attitude of that King Duncan has of being passive and letting other people guide him, letting other people guide him, conduct him, yes, to do things. And in this case, a woman, which is the big disruption of order, yes, it's this idea that a superior accepts to be guided by an inferior, yes. This is known as a sin, como un pecado, as a sin. It's called the sin of remiss, and it's connected with, it's not important right now, but what I mean is that it is a big disruption of order. Why? Because the king was above every human being, and especially above women. And in this case, it is a woman, and here maybe this is the flaw that King Duncan has, yes, that as we said, he's an ineffectual king, he's a king that is not active, yes, and he's always letting other people make decisions for him, yes. Conduct me to mine host, we love him highly. So this idea that it is Lady Macbeth who pulls him inside the castle, yes. So this is a disruption of order, and disruptions of order in the Elizabethan society brought about several consequences, as we have already studied. Yes? Okay. We are now going to analyze the last theme that we are going to analyze today is Act 1, Scene 7. This is a soliloquy. Remember that a soliloquy is a speech that is delivered on stage by one character. There is only one character on stage, and we have direct access to his mind. He's speaking his mind, and he's addressing the audience. Yes. And this is Macbeth. Yes, and he is trying to. Macbeth is a character that struggles a lot at the very beginning of the play when trying to decide whether he should kill the king or not. And the struggle is completely psychological. Yes, if we could use psychoanalysis as a literary theory to analyze this speech, this soliloquy, we could find a lot of important information, because we see this clear struggle between his ego and his and how he tries to struggle to decide what is correct and what is not correct. Yes, and whether he should let himself be guided by his desires or by what is correct. This is what the struggle that he is finding, so that I don't get too technical about it. Yes, and he provides several reasons. I'm going to give you the reasons now, and then we will analyze the different quotes in which we find these reasons. The first reason why he doesn't want to kill the king is because he believes that he might lose his soul, because of course Macbeth believes, and this was a belief of the Elizabethan society, that there is a spiritual law that has to be respected, and if you don't respect it, you go to hell. So this is one of the things that he's worried about. He's worried about his soul. Then he is also worried that he might be killed, that he might be executed. Yes, so he's worried about the earthly law, la ley terrenal, earthly law. Yes, and then he provides reasons why he should kill the king. Yes, he believes that, there is one more reason why he shouldn't kill the king. He says King Duncan is going to be missed because he's a good king. Yes, because despite the fact that he's not a very active king, people love him. Yes, so he says people are going to miss King Duncan. And then he provides a couple of reasons why he should kill him. Yes, one of the reasons is because King Duncan trusts Macbeth, so it's going to be easy to kill him. Yes, and he realizes by the end of this soliloquy that he wants to kill King Duncan out of ambition. Yes, he wants to kill him because he wants to achieve that aim that he was told in the prophecy. Yes. So we are going to listen to this now, and then I'm only going to highlight a couple of lines that are important for us to understand these reasons that he provides. Yes, but the most important, the essence of this soliloquy is how Macbeth struggles with himself in order to decide what is it that he should do, whether he should kill King Duncan or not, because Lady Macbeth is resolute, but here we see that Macbeth is hesitant. At the beginning of the play, Macbeth is hesitating, doubting himself, and he doesn't know what to do. He looks a little bit, he sounds a little bit like a coward, but I think that the struggle is normal. Anyone would struggle before doing something as important as he is about to do, especially in those days in which the king was the representation of God on earth. So killing the king was killing God. Yes? So let me find the exact point where this is so that we can analyze it, or we can listen to it, okay? Wait a second. Okay, so as from here, this is Act 1, Scene 7. Yes, Act 1, Scene 7. The first line is, if it were done when it is done, then it were well. If it is done when it is done. Yes, Act 1, Scene 7. Okay, here we go.
If it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere well, it were done quickly, if the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch, with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we'd jump the life to come, but in these cases we still have judgment here, that we but teach the instructions which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other.
Okay, up to here, let us go over some of the most important lines that highlight the reasons that I have given you before. Yes, the first line is very important. If it were done when it is done. What is it? It is a reference to the murdering of Duncan. So notice that he doesn't say out loud what he wants to do, because of course he has to be careful, and because even saying it's dangerous for him. As if I every time I analyze this play, I have this idea that maybe he's afraid of saying it, of just saying the words. That's how dangerous is the thing that he's about to do. That's how unholy, que poco sagrado, no? Because to kill the king at that time was really killing God. That's what it meant for people. Yes. So he doesn't dare mention what he wants to do. But then he does. Look, if it were done when it is done, so if I do this when I do it, it were well done, it were done quickly. So I would do it well, but if I could do it quickly, so it has to be done really fast. Yes. If the assassination here, I just want to highlight this word. This is the first time that he addresses what he wants to do, that he says out loud what he wants to do. And assassination, you know that it is a specific term for the murdering of, or yes, the murdering of that has political reasons. It's when you kill someone because of a political reason. That's the specific word, assassination. That's what assassination means, to kill someone for a political purpose. Yes, and this is the first time that this word appears written in the English language. So it's a very important comment, because of course we as teachers of English need to know where this language comes from. And Shakespeare himself is the one that wrote these words for the first time. It doesn't mean that he made them up, that he created them, but he was the first one that wrote them. Yes. So then he continues saying that what I need to do is I have to do this quickly. Yes, and then line 6. But here upon this blank and shoal of time we will jump the life to come. So here he is afraid of the consequences that he may experience when he dies, because he may lose his soul. And this is a reference to the first reason, that he is afraid of losing his soul. But in these cases, he continues, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught return to plague the inventor. So here what he says, we also have judgment here. So if I do this and I get caught, I will be punished. Yes, and we know that punishment for someone that kills the king is of course execution. Yes, he talks about justice. He talks about karma, this notion that everything that you do then returns to you. Yes. And then if we go to line 13, line 12, towards the middle, he says, he is here in double trust. So the king is here and he trusts me, he believes in me. Yes, he doesn't suspect at all of any of my actions because of two reasons. So he has two reasons, King Duncan has two reasons to trust him. First, I am his kinsman and his subject. I am the person that I am supposed to protect him. Yes, strong both against the deed. Then as his host. So the second reason is that he's his host. In those days, when you received someone in your house, you were in charge of their protection. Yes, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. So as his host, he should be the one defending him from any threats, and not the one that is holding the knife to kill him. Excuse. Okay, and then if of course then he says, besides, this is line 16, this Duncan had borne his faculties so meek, had been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels. So here what he's saying is that Duncan has become a very lovable king. He's someone that is loved by society, so, and he's a good person, so his blood will call, what does it say? Let me use the exact words. His virtues will plead like angels. Yes, so these good things that he has will cry from earth. Yes, and because of what he's going to do, because he's about to kill someone someone that is a good person. Yes, and notice line 21. And pity, like a naked newborn babe. Notice again a simile. Why is this a simile? An explicit comparison. We have the word like. So pity, and notice the personification of pity, lástima, the personification. Pity here gets a human trait, like a naked newborn baby. Yes, striding the blast or heavens, carrying horse upon the slightest carriers of the air. Yes, so in a way, what he's saying is that Duncan is as innocent as a baby, yes, and people is going to feel a lot of pity and a lot of sympathy towards his sons and his family when he dies, yes, because he's really a good person. And finally, line 24, no, sorry, line 25. I have no spur. This is towards the middle of line 25. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only bolting ambition which overleaps itself and falls on the other. So he says, I have no spur, I have no other motivation to kill Duncan than this oppressive ambition that I feel. Yes, so this is the conclusion that he makes. We're going to stop here. I want to show you this scene and then we stop, okay? Give me a second. Let me find the exact spot.
So much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both.
The wind, I have no. We thank as love, mine host. But here.
What is there?
Okay, so as from here we go back to the beginning. Yes, if it were done when it is done, but now I want you to watch the play and how Macbeth, how the actor performs these beautiful lines.
If it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere well, it were done quickly, if the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we'd jump the life to come, but in these cases we still have judgment here, that we but teach the instructions which being taught return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now, what news?
Okay. I hope that today it has been easier to understand these lines, and if not, make sure that you write down your questions and I can answer them next class when we see each other, hopefully, okay? Take care and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Bye.